Welcome back, guys, and today we are talking about Broadway grosses. So, as I like to say, let's get into it. So, 1776, the not-so-controversial revival, performed to 77.47% capacity, which was down from last week's 76. Oh, wait, no, it was actually up from last week's 76.71, my mistake. A Strange Loop performed to 85%, which was up from last week's 84%. And obviously that show is closing, but it's doing quite decent with $640,000 in its overall gross. Almost Famous isn't doing so hot with 90% capacity, which was down from last week's 93%, and only bringing in $595,000 overall. I don't think this will do quite well. I think it will be done before the Tonys. But if it gets good critical response, I could see them, making it until May, kind of like the Prom. Beetlejuice, which is also closing, is doing $1 million, and in 78% capacity last week to 82% capacity this week. Very happy that it's going out on a high note. Not much else to say because it's closing. Funny Girl is so close to $2 million with 100% capacity, which was down from last week's 100.36, but the average ticket went up, and it's currently at $1,723,000. And if I were a betting man, I'd say by Thanksgiving, this show will hit the $2 million mark, and by December, it will hit the $3 million mark. Hadestown, once again, I think is the show to close next, because the overall gross was $779,000, even though it had a high capacity of 97%, which was up from last week's 96%. The very low average ticket prices, I think, are not sustainable, so I feel that Hadestown will close next year. Hamilton continues to make $2 million, going from 100% to 99%. Into the Woods finally had its first week without $1 million, with 74% capacity, which was up from last week's 71%, but because the average ticket price dropped from, I believe, $125 to $94, it went from $1 million to $775,000. Now that's not terrible, because Into the Woods is a very non-expensive show, but they're not great numbers. But again, I think that they picked the St. James, which is a massive theater, because it was a limited engagement. You had Sarah Bareilles, it was going to sell out, and Janine Benton of Great Comet fame is coming back as the baker's wife. So looking forward to that. I'd have to go see it again. Probably not, but I mean, yeah. But yeah, I don't think they'll extend and go and find another theater unless it's a smaller one. I think the Music Box would be perfect for it. Kimberly Akiyembo went from 91% to 91%, and continues to increase in gross, going from $300,000 to $364,000. Probably going to win Best Musical, but won't do that well business-wise. And then Moulin Rouge went from $1,325,000 to $1,269,000, and while its capacity is pretty high with 99.60 compared to last week's 99.77, the very low average ticket of $122 is making the show just on the borderline of we have to be concerned about it. But for now, it's safe, but it's definitely not. It's pulling a lot softer numbers than it should be. Six continues to do very well with $1 million, 97% last week to this week's 98%. The Book of Mormon, which is supposedly closing, made $1 million and went from 97% to 99%. I can see why they would close it because of Scott Rudin leaving and them not having the money, and I know that Book of Mormon didn't do so well over the past year, but it's surprising considering how well it is doing at the current moment. The Music Man went from $2 million to $3 million, 99.65 to 99.61. The Phantom of the Opera continues to sell out with 101% capacity, which was up from last week's 100%, going from $1,603,000 to $1,622,000. And they should have ended this earlier, because they're now starting to make a lot of good money off of Phantom because it is closing. So yeah, those are the grosses for this week. Not a lot has changed, and pretty much everything is closing. The only one that's on the chopping block right now is Hadestown, and I think Almost Famous and Kimberly Akiyembo will probably stick to Tony's, but Almost Famous, I think, pretty much close next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kimberly does as well. And if it doesn't close next year, it will close the year after that, because it's definitely got that Band's Visit, a Strange Loop-esque vibe, rather than a Dear Evan Hansen Hamilton vibe. But anyways, those are the grosses. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Have a good day.